Growing up in San Diego as a kid, my favorite player was Tony Gwynn. And I did a bunch of chores and I saved up a lot of money. And I went down to the local card store and I was able to find this Tony Gwynn rookie card that is still my prized possession.
Growing up, I was a big Mariners fan. I always remember an Edgar Martinez card that I really loved. He was a guy that I just always enjoyed watching hit, so growing up, that was probably my favorite card.
All-star Dmitri Young, Demeat Hook, joins us to talk about his impressive card collection. We get personal with star of stage and science Mayim Bialik. We'll also learn about NFTs and find out how they could impact the business. That and so much more next on MLB's Carded.
It is caught! Holy cow! Unbelievable!
Welcome back to another episode of MLB's Carded, where we take a look at baseball cards past, present, and future. Stars, they're just like us. We know Mayim Bialik is an actress from The Big Bang Theory and Blossom, but she's also a neuroscientist, writer, director, and even guest hosted Jeopardy! Just like us. She's also a baseball card collector, just like us. Here's a peek at some of her personal collection.
Here's a vintage one, Eddie Fisher, not the singer. Pitcher for the White Sox. That's an oldie. Look at that pose. He's just ready to take on the world. Here's a Dodger player I don't remember knowing. His name is German Rivera. There he is. He was a third baseman. His hobby is music, just all music. These baseball cards have been in my family for years. My dad was a collector in the 40s and 50s. And so my brother then was a collector, and I seem to have inherited them. And I have two boys, not that girls can't like baseball cards, but it was something that I really enjoyed, showing and sharing with them. I was really raised a Yankees fan. So anything Yankees I liked. And because it was my brother's kind of collection and my dad's thing, I was mostly attracted to interesting cards or flashy ones, or oh look, most guys are just posing, but this guy's throwing a pitch in his card. Look at that, so much fun. This is an amazing hairdo to decide to have on your baseball card with two bats. There's a bunch of Tito Fuentes here. I don't know what the plural of that is. Gotta love the card that tells you about the cards. And my brother had marked off, the ones that he had. That's amazing. This is such an awkward card. Just and he's not even wearing a hat. Where's his hat? I do love a good team card. I just do. Again, I liked any card that was different. And so team cards are obviously very different. And this is a Brewers card, and George Bamberger, their manager, is shown in the bottom. Proud manager. Here's a bunch of team cards, which is kind of awesome. One of the things about baseball is the love of statistics. And yes, as a math and science person, I do appreciate the art of some of the math of the statistics of baseball. And again, the issue is not just I need to collect these cards. There's information held on the back of these that is incredibly valuable and important, and also can be used for comparison purposes and all the other things. But there's also something kind of just, to that art of this is the baseball card. There's even one of Babe Ruth. And while it's not an original Babe Ruth card, it's an oldie. Pee Wee Reese card. That feels real special. And there's a dugout quiz. Was there a rule that barred players from receiving money for services? The answer is yes, in 1859. And that, my friend, is a deep cut. There's a lot of emphasis, I think, on the financial component of baseball card collecting. But I will say, as someone who never wanted to value them for that reason, there is a real beauty in the organization and the classification. For me, I kind of set the financial component aside and just really, enjoy the activity. I could maybe wallpaper the house with these. Just kidding.
Certainly a very scientific approach to collecting. We move from science to art, and one of the newest trends in baseball cards, card art. People have been putting their own artistic spin on cards for years, but with Project 2020 and now Project 70, Topps has taken it to a whole new level. Some of the most prestigious artists on the scene today are creating some of the most incredible masterpieces ever committed to cardboard. We're going to highlight some of these artists and their creations on Carded, beginning with Brittney Palmer.
It's kind of fun to be able to hold it, and you can hold a painting in your hands. It makes it exciting that you can get so much impactful action into one little bubble. I was honored and very lucky enough to be asked by Topps to be one of their artists for Project 70, and that's really what started me painting my baseball cards. This was their second project. They did Project 2020 last year. When they asked me this year to do Project 70, I wasn't only just excited, but just really intrigued to learn more and really be involved in it, and to fall in love with these players, the era, the cards in general. So it's a beautiful thing to learn. I choose the players by players that I know. I ask my friends and family, and I ask fans to kind of get a vibe of what they want to see. I kind of pick and choose and what I vibe with, and I'll make it its own little story. I do portrait work, and I've only done a few, and I'm only going to do a few in my style. That's a style that I've had for years. But on this project specifically, because they're smaller cards, I wanted to do something that I had never done before and people haven't seen from me before. And, I want them to get excited to see more. I think that card art is here to stay, and all art is making such a beautiful comeback. Everyone's now tuning in on people who are alive and painting now, and being able to paint these cards or paint on, jackets, and really create a world where murals are beautiful and street art is incredible, and we love it. And that is something that's so refreshing and exciting, and I'm really happy to be in the middle of it.
Worth noting that every Topps Project 70 card is only available for a limited time, so check the website early and often, or you can miss out on these one-of-a-kind, ultra-limited production cards. Up next, we talk to Dmitri Young, Dmeat Hook, about his journey from card-buying kid to major league collector.
Here's where Dimitri has to find a pitch he can drive somewhere. There's a pitch he can lift.
It's going to be gone.
A 3-run shot for the meat hook, Dmitri Young. Leaping catch, Dmitri Young.
It's going, and gone! The meat hook coming home with a grand slam.
A 13-year MLB veteran, two-time All-Star, and winner of the NL Comeback Player of the Year, Dmeat Hook, as his friends call him, has possibly garnered more accolades for collecting baseball cards than baseball stats. He started collecting when he was a kid, but during his time as a major leaguer, Dmitri began putting together one of the most impressive collections of PSA graded 10 rookie cards ever. I mean, ever. And he joins us now on Carded. Dmitri, good to see you. Take us back to how this obsession started. How young were you when you began collecting baseball cards?
How old was I when I started playing T-ball? I think it was 6 years old. I'm 47 now. I'm dating myself. So it was one of those things where after the game, you have $1, you get to go get a hot dog, a drink, and then there was a box of baseball cards. It was mainly Topps, but sometimes there'll be Fleer or Donruss. And I would be curious about the baseball players, so I would get a couple of packs, and that's how I started learning all the players and stuff like that. And I was always keen on the rookie cards. And that was the early 80s, so I was getting like Darryl Strawberry rookie, the Dwight Gooden, Cal Ripken Jr., yes, Don Mattingly. Yeah, and the obsession grew as I got older. And so I was very obsessed with baseball cards. And, of course, if you didn't get good grades in a Young household, certain things would be taken away from you.
What would be taken away? They take away your baseball cards?
Take away? Oh, man, they made bonfires out of it. It was like, and so the obsession grew. So when I became a professional, then I started getting into the graded cards when I was in Cincinnati. Danny Graves and myself did a card show. And I wanted a Pete Rose rookie card. I didn't know anything about PSA or the grading process, anything like that. So after we did the show, I get a PSA 8 Pete Rose rookie, which is near mint. And I was just very fascinated by the cars, and they're graded based on the condition of the cars, the eye appeal, the centering, the lack of imperfection like print dots or anything like that, the edges, the sharp corners. And that's really how my card collection grew. And I was a big fan, the Hall of Famers, and then the legendary players, and then guys that you meet that are coaches in the organization or broadcasters or things like that, where you start having a working relationship with, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna find this guy's card. And that's really how the card collection just really blew up.
I'm wondering, because you were a one of the top prospects when you broke into the big leagues, and I'm wondering, your passion for baseball cards inadvertently taught you so much history of the game. And is that the foundation of your playing career, that you were an advanced player because you knew so many of the nuances of the game and how the game was played, because you valued so many of the players from the past?
Oh, big time, and outside the baseball cards, I had that big old baseball encyclopedia. You remember that big old thick book?
I love that book.
Oh my God, that was my Bible. And then there was Baseball Digest, the early Baseball America, when it was just black and white, like a regular newspaper. And then, I was just into all of that. My only thing was I wanted to play baseball and have my own baseball card. And so, yes, I do have plenty of my own baseball cards, and I sent them in a PSA, and they are PSA 10s.
Were you happy with the finished product when you saw your rookie card?
Yes, I was, actually.
So if you had to recommend your favorite Dmitri Young rookie card, of all of them, who made the best rookie card?
I had to go with the Upper Deck one, the very first one, where I had a terrible hand tape job. Cardinals was not on there. It was just blank with a number on the side, and I'm holding up a wood bat, and I'm making my meanest look, because back in the 90s, brothers weren't smiling in the camera. They had the mean mug.
I got to go get that card. I got to tell you, my favorite card, it's sentimental to me. My favorite player was Ozzie Smith. So I have the 79, the rookies, the San Diego Padres. That card means a lot to me. And I remember when I got it for the first time, I just stared at it. And it was almost like when you get a puppy. When the puppy's sleeping at night, you go check in on the puppy, you just want to look at it. That's what I did with my baseball card of Ozzie Smith. So when you got your creme de la creme card, the card that you hunted down forever, how did you react when you held it for the first time?
My sons and I frequently talk about this, because they were little at the time. They are now, Owen's 23, Damon's 21, and we constantly laugh. And my daughter, 19, Layla, but she didn't care about the cards, but the boys did. And when I would get a card in, it would be on the nightstand right beside my bed. I'm falling asleep like, yes, look at that card. That's so beautiful. Oh, look at that card. And then when I was in Detroit, I would bring the card in. Like when I got Al Kaline's rookie.
Yeah.
Showing those guys my baseball cards, it's like an appreciation, because one, they get to see themselves a lot younger. And number two, they're like, wow, you really pay attention to the history of the game? And I'm like, yes, it's one of the most important histories in all sports.
I remember watching, during your playing career, the way they covered your collection. It was like a cute thing. Dimitri Young loves baseball cards, and your teammates, I'm sure, were like, oh, well, that's nice. Look at him. He's still like a kid. He collects baseball cards. Do any of your teammates text you now going, Dimitri, you're a genius. You're sitting on a gold mine now?
Yeah, one of them's your colleague, Sean Casey. Bro, I can't believe you had that card collection like that. Oh my God, bro. They understood, my collection, my passion for the game. And that's a lot of that locker room stuff that people don't know about, that things that go around the locker room is like, fun fact, Dmitri Young loves baseball cards and donuts.
I love it. Before I let you go, you sold a portion of your collection, and the proceeds went to your foundation. How difficult was that decision for you? And tell us about your foundation.
Well, it wasn't a difficult decision at all. When you pretty much have all the cards, there's a select few that, they were in other collections, they weren't going anywhere. So when it was time to let go and move on with life, A portion of it went to my foundation, which is a bridge between kids that can play and can't pay, and opportunity. And been doing that for years. I don't know the numbers or anything like that. I just like to be the figurehead and be the nice guy that keep it going for all these kids out here, both boys and girls that want to play baseball, softball, or girls playing baseball. I'm holding on to a PSA 9. I don't know how good you can see it. It's
beautiful. Willie McCovey.
Look at the centering. Look at the centering.
That is
With
unbelievable.
the eye appeal, you can't tell me that this couldn't be a 10.
That's a 10. I got to tell you, this is your show. Dmitri Young should be hosting Carded. This was a blast. Dimitri, I could talk to you for hours. Someday I will, and we'll compare collections. Yours trumps mine. But Dimitri, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're very welcome there, Greg.
It may not be like the 80s and 90s, but baseball card stores are still thriving, especially with the resurgence of the industry during the pandemic. The stores that made it through the early part of the 21st century are now booming again. But if you had to pick one hub, a place that's worth a pilgrimage for any serious collector, it has to be Cooperstown, New York. In the shadow of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, Main Street is lined with baseball card and memorabilia stores. My friend Carlos Pena recently visited one, and we tagged along.
Hey, what's up? This is Carlos Pena, and here I am in Cooperstown, New York. And while I'm here, you have to visit a baseball card store. You have to. So I'm going to go into Pioneer and have a lot of fun. Follow me. All right, guys, so here we are with Mark Walpert, and this is Pioneer Sports Cards. This is awesome. How would you describe Cooperstown?
It's the mecca of baseball. It is a destination for all fans. It's sacred almost. There's something very special about the town.
Right?
And the Hall of Fame, absolutely.
Okay, there are many sports cards stores maybe around the world, but yours is in the most famous baseball street in the universe.
Yes.
So how does it feel to have your store in this place?
Very proud of that. It's I wouldn't do it anywhere else. I opened it 31 years ago, and it's been a dream fulfilled. It's been fantastic to be here.
All right, Mark, so we're here in your store. I would love to see what your most treasured items are.
Okay. Let's start with Say Hey.
Yes, sir.
Willie Mays rookie card.
Unbelievable.
1952 tops.
This is amazing. I mean, when you hold baseball history in your hands, and we're talking about one of the game's greatest.
Absolutely. Let's follow it up with another 1954 tops Hank Aaron rookie.
How about these?
Doesn't get much better than that, right?
Unbelievable. What else we got here, Mark?
A current player, another slugger like yourself.
Oh, Pete Alonso.
And that
the polar bear.
And this particular card, it's his Topps rookie card. This is a perfect 10, and it's also one of one, the only one that exists.
Are you
of
kidding
that
me?
particular one, yes.
You got it.
Yes. Here's another great.
Oh.
For me, he's right up there with
Ken Griffey
the first
Jr.
two.
This is awesome. He was my favorite player. Oh, look at this young guy. Look at that, my rookie card. How about that? That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Thank you. Thank you for pulling that out.
Absolutely.
All right, Mark. I'm really pumped up about seeing if you truly have more of my cards, or if you went and got that one just because you knew it was coming.
I'll have you see for yourself.
All right. So here we go. I got the Pena. Okay. There are many Penas in baseball. Let's see. Oh, he does. He does have. Check out that rookie card. Your collection is really good. If you got my rookie card for when I was playing in that was high A in Port Charlotte, Florida, with the Texas Rangers. That is really cool. Look at this one. Showing my speed in the base pass. Also, as you can see, a whopping $5.
That one's a sixer.
$6. My price is going up as I speak. Mark, man, this has been awesome. Seriously, I could spend the entire day here. Thank you so much for your hospitality. This is a gem. And if you're ever here in Cooperstown, you have to come to the Pioneer Baseball Cards. This is absolutely awesome.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, I love your shirt, by the way, your jersey.
Thank you.
Dominicana, ven, mi gente.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Baseball cards have been around for well over 100 years, but as we saw earlier with card art, the industry is constantly evolving to keep up with new trends. Another example of this is NFTs. So what are they, and what do they mean to collectors? Well, here's a little intro, NFTs 101, if you will.
Whether it's a card that you got when you were much younger, or it's a card that you just got yesterday based on a moment or a player that you're really excited about, there's a connection to that moment captured in time that's on the physical card. So what an NFT does is it's a digital version of that same experience. NFTs are the digital equivalent of a collectible item that you would typically get in a physical form.
NFTs are unique digital assets that can be bought and sold on a blockchain, which itself is sort of a record-keeping technology. The way that they're created and tracked on the blockchain helps ensure that they're genuine. The NFT essentially serves as its own certificate of authenticity.
And therefore your connection to the NFT is permanent and what they refer to as non-fungible.
The fact that they're created specifically to be rare and unique gives them a natural application as a digital collectible.
Major League Baseball looks at the future of NFTs for baseball fans similar to the future of collectibles of physical nature. This is another way for fans to engage with our sport in a way that's natural to them.
So when a league like Major League Baseball or a company like Topps gets into NFTs, it does help validate this as a new category of collectible.
Topps released their Series 1 cards through NFTs in April, and that went really well. We thought that the response from our fans were phenomenal. The cards themselves are great representations of the Series 1 cards you would expect to see in a traditional way from Topps, and the fan base has been really, really positively receiving it. So the Lou Gehrig NFT is really exciting. We partnered with our friends over at Candy to create a one-of-a-kind NFT of the Lou Gehrig speech he gave on July 4th, 1939.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
So if you're interested in collectibles, if you're interested in a piece of history, and this moment and this experience connects with you, you'll place more value on that. It's a phenomenal speech, and no one's going to take any value away from what's there. But if you want to own a piece of history, if you want to own a piece of a moment that won't be duplicated with regards to this specific item, then maybe the NFT is for you.
Well, that just about does it for this episode of MLB's Carded. But before we go, you didn't think we'd let Carlos leave that store without doing a pack rip, did you? Come on. So here he is, one more time, Mr. Placata himself, Carlos Pena.
All right, so while we're still here at Pioneer in Cooperstown, I'm gonna do a pack rip, which is one of the coolest things to do because you just never know what you're gonna get in one of these packs. We have Jason Tyner from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. This is kind of cool, and I'll talk about the Devil Rays because that was the team that gave me the opportunity to, get back and really blossom in my career. Luis Terrero, actually played with him in Winnipeg. How about that? He used to play for Las Águilas in Dominican Republic. Jerome Williams, this guy could actually fire it. Really, really good pitcher, really good fastball. René Reyes, also skilled with the glove. This is cool. Let's open another one. Let's see. Most fun things you could possibly do with baseball cards. My kids love doing this, by the way. They never get me. Oh, Craig Biggio. Come on, man. This is huge. Right here, Hall of Famer. That kid could absolutely flat out play. And then we have Wilson Betemit, also a teammate of mine, and played in the Dominican Winter League as well. Great ball player. Dude, we do this all day. Eric Milton, the left-handed. That left-hander throws straight over the top. Pretty good sink on his fastball. Not a fun at bat. Brandon Phillips. My goodness. This guy, $1 million smile, all right, but good ball player too. He was really, really good. Adam Wainwright still doing his thing, still crushing it. Unbelievable. This never gets old, you know, like doing pack rips and looking through cards, and then you can look at the back of the cards and look for stats, which I think that's so cool. It's like their entire history in one place. This is great. I'm still a fan. I'm still a kid who just loves this game, so I'm having a lot of fun.